Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are located. Thank you all so much for joining Railbookers for today's exciting presentation. Folks, any questions that you may have during today's presentation, please feel free to type those away in the question box located on the right-hand side of your screen, and we will save some time at the end of today's presentation to answer any questions that you may have. Today's presentation is scheduled to be about 30 minutes or so, give or take, with questions. Also, please be sure to check that your device speakers are unmuted. And with that in mind, let's get started. And today, folks, we are here to talk about the top 7 most popular worldwide luxury and iconic train journeys. My name is Jim Marini and proudly going to be your host here today. And so excited to share these fantastic trips of a lifetime with each and every one of you. So if we have any folks joining us here today that may have a special anniversary coming up, maybe a special birthday, or you had a special occasion last year and you want to have something to look forward to, well, congratulations, you are on the perfect presentation. Now, for those of you who may not be as familiar with Railbookers, we are part of the Yankee Leisure Group family of brands. So if you look on the left-hand side of your screen, folks, yes, our sister brand is the Amtrak Vacation brand. That is our brand. We are the official tour operator here in the United States for any of you that may want to travel domestically and locally here in the US. And Amtrak Vacations, our sister brand, can do everything from rail plus hotels, meals, sightseeing tours, activities. They have packages put together from literally 3, 4, 5-day weekend, week-long getaway trips to 1 and 2 weeks long across the country, especially out to the beautiful national parks. Railbookers, however, on the right-hand side, is the brand that we're featuring today, certainly for these top 7 worldwide luxury and iconic rail journeys. It's all of our trips throughout Canada, Europe, and around the world, and even including train travel in Alaska. Folks, our phone number is listed right there at the bottom of the screen. We are open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and any of our rail experts are here to help each and every one of you. But one of the best highlights, I can't say enough about it, is right here. Certainly for any of you that want to get out of your house and want to go somewhere, or maybe some of you don't like to fly and you don't feel like driving, well, with our sister brand, Amtrak Vacations, you could travel literally from today. Yes, you can leave today, tomorrow, in the next 1 to 2 weeks, 1 to 2 months, all the way up to 2023. So you can book now and travel later. Certainly, if you're looking to travel across and around the world. Now, there's many reasons why travelers love traveling with Railbookers. First off, in the top left-hand corner, when you book your trip or you book through your local travel advisor and he or she reaches out to us, they are speaking to one of our rail experts who know the rail, the best routes, the best times to ensure you have a trip of a lifetime. As I mentioned, you can book and travel from today all the way up until 2023. Now, we do have a maximum flexibility offer going on right now, which I'm going to tell you about in just a little bit. Also, we have the largest rail vacation selection in the world of independent style vacations, flexible, independent style rail vacations. And no rail trip is too complicated for us. Did you know any trip that you see here today or any trips that Railbookers offer, we can customize any trip for you and your friends and family. We can personalize it. We can add extra days, take out days, make additional stops. We can make it just the way you would like. Now, this is our maximum flexibility offer going on right now, folks, all right? Anyone who books before the end of September of this year to travel anytime this year, next year, or even in 2023, as long as you book with a small deposit of only $250 per person before the end of September of this year, if you did need to change or postpone your trip, whatever the reason is, we are waiving any and all change and cancellation fees. Basically, in a nutshell, everyone, we have overwritten our change and cancellation policy, allowing each of you to enjoy the freedom to have the flexibility to change your dates, the duration, or even the destination after you book your vacation, if need be. We want you to have that peace of mind. Now, we're going to start out with Europe, all right? Because Europe obviously is really one of those areas in the world that has some of the most iconic and luxury trains anyone can ever experience and travel to. If you take a look at this map, everyone, you see all those colorful lines right there on this map? Well, this is the rail network map across all of Europe. And all those different colorful lines, those represent all the local trains, the high-speed trains, the luxury and iconic trains. And here's what I always say, none of those trains actually talk to each other. Railbookers packages it all together for you and or your travel advisor. And we make it easy. And as you'll see, we do way more than just rail tickets. We do pretty much the entire package. Now, any of you certainly looking to travel in the near future, all right, as early as the fall of this year, obviously until further notice, facial coverings would be required on board the trains at the train stations for passengers and staff. On some of the trains, they have stopped the sale of food and drinks on board, but I could tell you firsthand, and certainly for any of you that have ever traveled throughout Europe or other areas around the world, many of the train stations have their own restaurants, their own coffee shops, bakeries, or certainly within blocks away. They have changed seat configuration and allocation on board to allow for more social distancing. They have an increased cleaning and sanitation protocol on board. Pretty much every hour upon the hour, they're cleaning and sanitizing the trains. And they've also gone to contactless ticket control through email and on apps. So you can be able to show your electronic ticket. And folks, we help with all of these arrangements as well as your local travel advisor. So however you want to plan your rail vacation of a lifetime. All right, let's move into the top 7, starting with the Belmont Royal Scotland. This is Scotland's classic splendors, which is from London to Edinburgh, over back to London again. And if you take a look at this itinerary, 11 days, 10 nights, all the pricing that you see in today's presentation is based on double occupancy. So per person, 2 people to a room. But this is certainly for any of you that have traveling to Scotland on your wish list. This is definitely the trip to consider. Now, it does start in London. Now, folks, with Railbookers, we can book most of everything for you with the exception of flights. So if any of you do have a local travel advisor that you work with or would like to work with, they can book any of these trips, including your flights, where you can also spend time in the great city of London. And what's nice with our trips is because they're all independent style vacations, flexible independent travel, we offer some additional sightseeing opportunities such as Stonehenge for any of you that have never been there and would like to visit this magnificent area. Now, obviously, traveling to Edinburgh is such a great experience, and you'll be able to do that as you travel from London up into Scotland, and you'll have some time here to explore the beautiful castle, which is actually an active military base right here in Edinburgh before boarding on the Royal Scotsman. Now, folks, this is a 5-star, 5-diamond train, 5 being the highest and most upscale quality train that there is. And this is the train that's going to take you through the beautiful countryside of Scotland, also the beautiful rolling hills. But being able to travel on board the train is such an experience. Now, if any of you have ever been on any river cruises or you've been on any luxury premium ocean liner cruise line, you will love the train. Why not rail as a great option in place of sail? In fact, we call these land cruises. And by the way, all of your meals are included for any of you that have the Belmont Royal Scotsman on your wish list, your bucket list. All the meals and also all of your drinks are included on board the train. Now, when I say meals, it's a 5-course meal in the evening at dinner time, made fresh by the chefs. Now, when you do board the train, for any of you that are traveling as single or solo travelers, you have single cabins available. We also have twin cabins available. And interestingly enough, this train only fits 40 passengers. It's a small, intimate style way of traveling. Now, something interesting that some of you may be aware of is this is one of the only trains in the world when you overnight on board the train, folks, the train actually pulls over and it stops for the evening. So it actually doesn't keep traveling into the night so everyone can get a nice, relaxing, good night's rest. Now, after dinner, or certainly before dinner, here's an area you definitely want to make sure to check out: the lounge car. And really has the beautiful modern luxury style experience. And again, all your meals and all of your beverages are included throughout this entire journey. So if any of you again have on your wish list to travel to the UK and especially Scotland, consider the Belmont Royal Scotsman. Now, that's not only one of the packages. We have many different packages to choose from that include the Belmont Royal Scotsman. Here is the second most popular out of the top 7, and this is our Essential Belmont Royal Scotsman Western Scenic Wonders. So obviously you're going to see a lot of the great same sites, but as you can see, it also includes Glasgow. It also includes Glasgow, which is such a great experience. Moving on to our third most popular itinerary, the Venice Simplon-Orient-Express from Paris to Venice and Rome. This trip right here, everyone, certainly one of our most popular. And if you have Paris on your wish list, well, you get a chance to spend 2 nights in this great city. And if you look at the map, everyone, this will serve as a great example to all the trips that I'm highlighting here today. The dotted lines represent the train. The number 1, the number 2, the number 3, and a round circle just lets you know how many nights that you are in each of these great cities. And again, when you book through your local travel advisor, he or she can book any of these packages, including your round trip flight accommodations as well. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning, if any of you may have joined us a little bit later, any of our trips can be customized or personalized just the way you would like. So for instance, if you look at the map on the right-hand side, if you want 3 nights or 4 nights in Paris, we can easily add on extra nights at the beginning as well as the end. And obviously there's so much to see in Paris, starting with the Eiffel Tower. How about those great cafes and restaurants? Folks, if you're like me, I love experiencing some of the local cuisine anywhere I travel to in the world, but I also love sitting down, relaxing, and people watching, listening to the folks, listening to that beautiful French language being spoken. Now, after you leave Paris, after spending a couple nights there, you then travel and board on the Venice Simplon-Orient-Express, which is such an amazing experience. Now, as I mentioned earlier, because our trips are independent style vacations, flexible independent travel, you also have the option to upgrade your cabins, to upgrade your rooms. Now, unlike the Belmont Royal Scotsman, which only fits about 40 passengers within the United Kingdom and Scotland, the Venice Simplon-Orient-Express can actually fit up to 174 passengers. It's a much larger train. But this train, folks, this is going to give you not only all your meals included, okay, but also any of your beverages. It is at an additional charge, which you would take care of at the end of your trip. Just like if any of you were going on a cruise, you would take care of any of your beverages or alcoholic beverages at the end of the trip. But this train, folks, is a 5-star, 5-diamond luxury train, just like the Belmont Royal Scotsman. But the difference with the Venice Simplon-Orient-Express is not only, of course, is it much larger, there's 3 restaurants on board the train, all right, which is amazing. But this is truly that nostalgic, vintage way of traveling. Basically the 1920s, 1930s era. It's actually very common for men and women to wear tuxes for the men, to wear full gowns and dresses for the women in the evening. Now, what you're looking at right here in this picture, this is actually a picture inside of the lounge car. Very popular location to be, certainly in the evening after dinner, to enjoy the sights along the journey. And speaking of the sights, this trip also includes Venice. Look at this, the Grand Canal. Not too often any of us travel to areas anywhere in the world where you don't hear the noise of the honking of the cars, right? The beeping. There's no trucks, there's no motorcycles, there's no automobiles. It's all boats and gondolas. And this trip also includes the great city of Rome, where, as you can see here, the Colosseum. Pretty amazing to think back in the day, many, many years ago, how the gladiators would fight one another to see which one would win. Now, as we move along with our top 7 most popular worldwide luxury and iconic rail journeys, let's move to the number 4 most popular. And this one is our Venice Simplon-Orient-Express, except in this itinerary, in this package, everyone, we not only travel to Venice, but you also travel into Switzerland. And that's what you're going to see on these next few packages, this one being one of them. Now, if you take a look at the map, everyone, on the right-hand side, as you can see, this is definitely a trip of a lifetime. So as I mentioned at the beginning, if any of you have a special anniversary or birthday coming up, maybe some of you have traveled on a luxury train previously and you're excited to go on the next train, or maybe you've traveled on one of those luxury cruise lines, why not consider rail as a great option in addition to sail? Now, here is a package where you start in London for one night, you travel over the English Channel, connect in through Paris before traveling southbound through France into Switzerland. And this is where the scenery really starts to be breathtaking, starting with the Bernina Express. Little fun trivia for all of you. Do you know the entire train route that the Bernina Express travels on, which is only about a 4 to 5 hour train ride? The entire train ride is considered a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Now, here's how I describe traveling on the Bernina Express if this is on your wish list, folks. It is as if you are traveling on a roller coaster, but stay with me. It goes 10 times slower than a roller coaster. And the reason why I describe it that way, there's lots of hairpin turns. Folks in the front of the train can see folks in the back of the train, or folks in the back can see folks in the front as you're traveling through the different valleys, the countryside, the rolling hills, and the great quaint villages, as you can see right here. Now, on board the Bernina Express, they do have service available for drinks and snacks and refreshments and little snacks and sandwiches as well. But the scenery is absolutely amazing. You know, Switzerland is one of those countries, and I've been in the travel industry, folks, for over 25 years. I have never in my entire career, again, over 25 years, I have never heard not one person absolutely not love Switzerland. Knock on wood, all right? So if Switzerland is on your wish list, you will not be disappointed. And what's amazing about this trip is not only do you get a chance to experience London, connecting through Paris, but you're traveling on board the Venice Simplon-Orient-Express in addition to these iconic trains here in Switzerland. This is one country where you have some of the most amazing and iconic trains in one country than you'll ever see in the world. Now, this is known as the Glacier Express, otherwise the Glacier Express. Unlike the Bernina Express, this is a 7 to 8 hour train ride, travels right throughout the countryside in the mountainous region of Switzerland. Absolutely amazing. And this, actually, a little fun trivia. Do you know this is known as the slowest high-speed train in all of Europe? Which kind of sounds funny. The slowest high-speed train. Well, and the reason why is it goes about 30 to 40 miles per hour, giving each and every one of you that beautiful scenery. Now, what I'm going to suggest to all of you right here, right now, if Switzerland is on your bucket list or your wish list, consider upgrading. All right, consider upgrading to the premium class, the excellence class. That's what you're looking at right here. Now, folks, what's great with Railbookers, as I mentioned, we do way more than just rail. So not only do we have the opportunity to take care of all of the local trains, the iconic trains, the luxury trains, but we can also help book the different categories for you and your travel advisor on board the train. Now, this right here, this is the category I highly recommend. As long as it can fit within your own personal budget, it's worth every penny. Do you know there's only 20 seats available on Excellence Class? And the way the seating arrangements work, folks, Excellence Class, it's what we call 1-by-1 seating. So it's 2 seats that face each other with a table right in the middle. That's what you're looking at right here. By the way, if you upgrade to Excellence Class, not only is there only 20 seats total available during this particular journey on board the Glacier Express, You also have a 5-course meal included. Wine is included. You have priority boarding. You even have your own iPad that's giving you commentary as you travel through these majestic areas of Switzerland. Now, we do also offer first class and standard class on board the train. But I heard years ago, folks, from a fellow traveler just like yourselves, and I never forgot this. It was a lady, her and her husband, who had traveled to Switzerland, and she said, Jim, I knew it was worth every penny to upgrade because I didn't know if I was ever coming back. I knew it was a trip of a lifetime, and I didn't want to miss out on some of the most beautiful scenery and cuisine that I could. Well, certainly you could do that as well. By the way, one of my favorite areas, folks, Zermatt. You see, Venice isn't the only area in the world that does not allow trucks, automobiles, motorcycles. In Zermatt, they actually have horse and carriage rides. They also have bicycles that any of you can rent, but it's also an easy walkable city. By the way, a little fun trivia, if you see that iconic snow-capped mountain right there in the middle of your screen in the background, does anyone want to type in to the question box on the right-hand side of your screen, folks? What is the name of that iconic snow-capped mountain? Does anyone want to take a guess at what that is in the background? Feel free to type in, everyone, if you think you know the answer. There it is. Yes, thank you, Harry. Matterhorn. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Mary. Yes, absolutely. One of the most iconic sites in all of Switzerland. Now, as I mentioned, in one particular country, you have some of the most iconic and amazing train experiences all included. The Gornergrat, another one. And you see, folks, all our trips can be customized. So if you want to add on any destination, if you want to take a round trip journey, if you want to book a trip in reverse or upgrade to first class or even better, excellence class on board the Glacier Express, or add any sightseeing tours or private tours, we can help you or your local travel advisor take care of that. What's great with any of our trips too, folks, you could actually stay at a 3, 4, and 5-star hotel all on the same trip. So as an example, if this trip is on your wish list, when you arrive in Zurich, you could be at a 3-star hotel. When you travel to the next city, all right, whether it's Lucerne or wherever it is, you could be in a 4-star, a 4-diamond hotel. And maybe when you are in that iconic city and it happens to maybe even overlap or be on the same date as your anniversary or birthday or just a special occasion, you could be at a 5-star, 5-diamond hotel, which is the highest, most luxurious category of any categories. And you can do this all in the same trip. Now, keeping with Switzerland, as we're moving through our top 7 most popular worldwide luxury and iconic rail journeys. How about this one, folks? Swiss lakes and mountains from Zurich. So if you take a look on the right-hand side, everyone, again, all the dotted lines represent the trains, the number 2, the number 1, and a round circle just tells you how many nights that you are overnighting in each of these areas. And again, we can easily add extra days, take out days, add additional stops if you would like. And as I mentioned, again, when you book through your travel advisor, he or she can also book flights for you into Zurich, or certainly you have that option as well. We can book most of everything with the exception of flights. But you know what I love too, when you travel, whether it's here in Switzerland or even other areas around the world, is visiting some of those quaint little towns and villages. Here's a great one known as Chur, C-H-U-R, known as Chur. And this includes the Jungfrau Joch Railway. So you can see some of the differences. So depending on what is the most important to you in each of these countries and destinations, we certainly have lots of options. And again, when we talk train travel, Switzerland has it all. And I will mention, for those of you that have ever been to Switzerland, certainly you can relate. But if you haven't been to Switzerland, one country in itself not only has some of the most amazing, iconic trains in the world all in one country, but do you know in the country of Switzerland, they speak German in certain areas of Switzerland. They speak French in certain areas of Switzerland. They speak so many different languages all in one country. Let's not forget Italian as well. All right. Montreux, lakeside area, beautiful area. All right. Now, one of the last packages before our top 7 that I will feature right after this trip is our scenic Switzerland trip from Basel. I know I mentioned this earlier, but if any of you have been on any river cruises, or maybe some of you are planning or thinking about going on a river cruise, in particular, the Rhine River Cruise, which typically starts or ends in Basel. Well, why not extend your vacation and see more of Switzerland? And you can do that with Railbookers. Look at the map on the right-hand side, folks, right? Lots included, all in one beautiful country of Switzerland. And what's nice about this package, it also includes Lake Lucerne, where you have the wooden covered bridge, one of the most iconic bridges in all of Europe, let alone in Switzerland. I will also give everyone a suggestion too. If Lucerne is on your wish list, they have a hotel called the Hotel Schweizerhof. It is a 5-star, 5-diamond hotel with tables and chairs, a restaurant right in the front, outside overlooking the lake. I mean, it absolutely is breathtaking. So if Lucerne is on your wish list, keep this package in mind. Now, this one also includes Mount Pilatus Railway, which features this cable car. Now, the cable car only takes about 30 minutes, just so you know, to bring you right from the top all the way down to the bottom. But as you can see, giving you some of the most beautiful scenery. And rounding out our top 7 most popular worldwide luxury and iconic rail journeys is our Grand Circle of the Canadian Rockies. Now, as many of you may know, as of August 9th, Canada is open to any Americans who have been vaccinated with proof of vaccination. For those of you that want to stay a little more local, here is a great package to consider, where not only do you travel on the famous Rocky Mountaineer, but you also travel on Via Rail, which is the national train of Canada, and it is round trip from the great city of Vancouver. Such an awesome, awesome city. Great seafood, great cuisine, great nightlife, all in one city. Now, this package does include the famous, or I should say the world famous Rocky Mountaineer. This is a 5-star, 5-diamond train. Again, 5 being the highest category. And what's great with the Rocky Mountaineer, you have Silverleaf to choose from, and you also have Gold Leaf. All right, so 2 different categories. Now, when you do travel on Rocky Mountaineer, your meals are included. Alcoholic beverages would be at an additional charge at the end, just like the Venice Simplon-Orient-Express. However, these are just some of the sites waiting for you. And then, folks, outside of Switzerland, the Canadian Rockies is the other destination I have heard literally every person absolutely love in all my 25 years in the travel industry. In fact, they call the Canadian Rockies the Switzerland of North America. And you can kind of see why. Look at this, folks. Chateau Lake Louise, right there on the right-hand side. 5-star, 5-diamond location. That water is absolutely beautiful. Aqua color water. Now, the season for the Canadian Rockies, typically May through September into maybe the beginning of October, just to kind of give you an idea. Now, I will say all the packages that I'm highlighting right here, right now, everyone, almost everyone that is booking all these packages, and we are absolutely getting new bookings with the small deposit of only $250 to book now and have something exciting to look forward to in the future. Almost everyone that are booking now, they're all planning, the majority are all planning to travel in 2022, as well as even some into 2023. Now, obviously, you have the option to travel as early as the fall of this year with Canada now being open. So if any of you just want to get out of your house, maybe you have family and friends in Canada you'd love to visit along your journey, well, why not tie in an amazing rail vacation all in one trip? Now, this trip also, as I mentioned, does include Via Rail. Via Rail is the national train of Canada, just like Amtrak here is in the United States. And on board Via Rail, they have what's called berths, which is bunk bed style for 2 people. They also have cabins for 1, or bedrooms for 1. What you're looking at here is a bedroom for 2, and they also have prestige class, which is a 4.5 to 5-star category, where it is a queen size bed. You have your own private butler. So again, not only are we able to book all these luxury and iconic trains, but also the different categories of service on board the train. And whenever any of you upgrade to any bedroom or a private sleeping accommodation, whether it's on whether it's on via rail in berths, cabins for one, cabins for two, as well as prestige class, all your meals are included. Now, with Rocky Mountaineer, your meals are included automatically with the exception of alcoholic beverages. Now, you can certainly view any of these great packages on our website, which is www.railbookers.com. But the best way, the easiest, the fastest way to get more information and to plan your rail vacation of a lifetime is, folks, picking up that phone, giving us or your local travel advisor a call. Again, we are open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So before I open it up to any questions that any of you may have, and I see we have some great questions that have already come in, I'm going to ask all of you to just take a minute or two and type into your question box, folks. Let's just get a little survey of what destinations are you considering for your next vacation. All right, so in your question box on the right-hand side, folks, if you'd be so kind, just take a minute or two and type in what is on your wish list, your bucket list. Where are you looking to travel and when? All right, so feel free to type those in. Thank you, John. We have Churchill, Manitoba, Harry, Canada, Chris, Switzerland, Deborah, the Venice Simplon-Orient-Express for my 50th anniversary. I love it. Thank you. Patricia, the Canadian Rockies, Gilbert, Denali, and the Northern Lights. By the way, folks, we do pretty much all of those destinations that you just typed in. All right, so before I open it up to your questions, just a reminder, there's our phone number in the bottom left-hand corner. As I mentioned, you can give us a call. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Certainly, you can visit us online, or you can contact and book through your local travel advisor, who, again, not only can book any of these packages, but they also can take care of your flights as well. All right, so keep that in mind. All right, with that in mind, let's open it up to any and all questions that you may have. So we're going to take a few minutes here, folks. And even if you don't have any questions, I always say just stick around for a few minutes, because I guarantee you some of your fellow travelers that are joining us here today may just have a question that you may find helpful in the answer. All right, so anyway, just wanted to mention that to all of you. So Gilbert, hello, Gilbert. We have Gilbert has a few quick questions. So let's, and first off, good morning, Harry. Thank you for your message. So Gilbert is asking, okay, what is the status of the new Canadian line that was added to USA? So obviously, Gilbert, Americans can travel to Canada as of August 9th of this year. Now, you do need proof of vaccination. Okay, you do need proof of vaccination, and you would need to take a COVID test before re-entering back into the U.S. At least 72 hours prior to traveling back into the U.S. And any of our rail experts or your local vacation travel advisor can give you more details, but it is available, as I mentioned, folks, on these trips in particular today, and really some of the most luxurious and iconic worldwide rail journeys in the world. Most folks are booking now with that small deposit of only $250 per person to have something to look forward to, but the majority are planning to travel in 2022 and even into 2023. Now, certainly you have the ability to travel, as I mentioned, as early as the fall of this year. All right, next one, Gilbert, how long does it typically take to post reward miles? Great question, Gilbert. So it all depends obviously on the train, so depending on which package, but Amtrak Guest Rewards members, as an example, we put those right away into your booking, and then those should appear typically within a week or two back into your account. And then Gilbert, when is the best time to travel in Alaska? Great question, Gilbert. The most popular for us typically is June, July, and August. June, July, and August is typically the most popular. Let's see. And can you make air reservations to get to London? You absolutely can. We do not book flights, but your local travel advisor, again, if you have a local travel advisor, or even if you don't, feel free to ask family or friends who they would recommend, who's a local travel agent, a local travel advisor who can help book flights for you into London or anywhere that you would like to travel. Let's see. Okay, great question. Oh, Harry, thank you. Harry typed in, I did the whole of Switzerland rail trip with Railbookers 3 years ago, and it was one of the best vacations ever. Your staff was excellent and made the trip so smooth. I recommend first class seats. Harry, thank you so much for your kind words. Oh, Stephanie, thank you. Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Let's see. Okay, just moving along here. Okay. Hello, Eileen. Are there options for activities at different stops on each of these rail itineraries? And the answer is yes, absolutely. We got tons of different options at each of these stops, tons of activities and sightseeing tours that you could take advantage of, or you can also have some free time. I'm glad Eileen asked that question because that's the beauty, folks. You see, unlike a traditional escorted bus tour, right? For any of you that have ever been on any bus tour, unlike a traditional escorted bus tour where, as you all may be aware, typically on a bus tour, an escorted guided tour, from 6 to 8 in the morning, it's breakfast. From 8 to 12, it's sightseeing. From 12 to 2, it's lunch. From 2 to 5, it's more sightseeing. From 5 to 7, it's dinner. From 7 p.m. on, there's an evening activity, and that's most days and nights on an escorted guided tour. What we do, and thank you for asking, Eileen, is on certain days, you will have a locally guided tour. Now, it may only be 2 or 3 hours, or it could be a full day. But then on other days, you'll have a day at leisure to explore on your own, to purchase any additional activities that you may want to take advantage of. Again, you get to customize and personalize it just the way you want, which is beautiful. So thank you again, Eileen. Oh, thank you for your comment. All right, let's see. Okay, next one, Elizabeth. Hello, Elizabeth. On any of these trips, can Railbookers help schedule COVID tests required to return to the US? Yes, we can, Elizabeth. So any of our rail experts can certainly help guide you of where you would take that COVID test and when. So all of our rail experts or your local travel advisor, again, can also help you with those arrangements ahead of time, certainly traveling and or returning back into the US. All right, let's see. Okay, hello, Harry. I had a deposit for a rail trip in India in 2019. Fantastic. And it was canceled. Will I still be able to use it for my next trip? Harry, I would definitely, yeah, give us a call because obviously if you have a future travel credit, a future travel voucher, that may still be able to still be valid. And that's what's nice too, folks, is we have, if any of you did need to postpone your trip, whatever the reason is, you have that flexibility with our maximum flexibility offer going on right now. As long as you book before the end of September of this year to travel anytime this year, next year, or in 2023, you will get a full value refund in the form of a future travel credit. And those are typically good for 2 years. And as I mentioned, let's say, for instance, you were planning to travel, as an example, like Harry, to India, but then you may decide to stay maybe more in Europe, or maybe you may even want to travel to Canada and visit the Canadian Rockies. You can decide where you want to go. It doesn't have to be the same trip, same destination. It's a form of a future travel credit that you have available, having our maximum flexibility offer. So Harry, I would give us a call on that to see if it still qualifies, or contact your local travel advisor, however you may have booked that trip. All right. So anyway, just wanted to mention that. Thank you. Let's see. Okay, just moving along. Oh, thank you, Deborah. Thank you. Thank you, Tracy. Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. All right, folks, I'm going to give everyone another minute or so. If anyone has any other questions, please feel free to type away. The best way, the easiest, the fastest way to start planning your rail vacation of a lifetime is just picking up the phone, give us a call, or contact your local travel advisor who can put a package together right there on the phone for you, whether you want to travel as early as the fall of this year or anytime in 2022 or 2023. So with that in mind, I just want to just give a little shout out before we end today's presentation in case anyone may have any other questions to Harry, Stephanie, John, Chris, Patricia, Gilbert. Thank you all for your participation. And for all of you that asked questions today, thank you so much for your interest. And we look forward to having you, your friends, and family on board soon with Railbookers. Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.